All right, today is Monday. It is April 29th. It is The Rundown. It is brought to you by Lisa Mattresses. Mattresses, $75 off. Click on the link. You can keep this link today, tomorrow, whenever.
What's today's date?
The 29th?
No, 26th.
I was about to freak out.
24th.
24th.
Way off.
Mattresses. Lisa, it is Monday. We know that much. Click on the link. You can keep it. Let's start today's rundown. We're full-blown playoff season. This is an old clip, but I hadn't seen it, and I don't think a lot of people have seen it. It's LeBron in Brooklyn at some sort of ceremony, the Sports Illustrated thing maybe.
Man of the Year, I believe.
Man of the Year?
I think so.
And Kendrick Lamar is playing, and LeBron is putting on a tour de force seat dancing clinic, and I mean that in a bad way. The kind that would make Taylor Swift be like, oh my God, look at this asshole. Had you seen this?
I had not.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
We're a big seat dancing company.
Yeah.
And this is an
he's
all-time
going
seat dancing
crazy.
Ridiculous.
Coley, was this new Kendrick?
I believe so.
Okay,
How could it have been new Kendrick?
He also said in the press conference.
I thought they just gave that away.
It was like, this was from like January though.
Yeah.
It's from January?
Yeah.
Because my first thought was that he was putting it on over the top because Kendrick had sent him the album early. So it depends on what
No,
Kendrick
this
is
was
being
from
played. This is
December,
old Cal. Okay.
but he also had said in his press conference, I think yesterday, that Kendrick like personally delivered him the new CD before everyone else.
I haven't stopped listening to it since he sent it to me. I don't even know if that was last week or not, before it came out.
It was.
A little shout out. To
You know what made it really so much worse is that nobody else was doing it.
Nobody.
Usually at the award show, Taylor Swift is the worst, but other people are bebopping around. Everybody was perfectly still in their chairs, and he was basically putting on his own music video.
And Taylor Swift will do it in bursts.
Yeah,
like
he
she'll
went the
be
whole
like
time.
7, 8
She'll do it when the
seconds.
camera's on.
Right. He was, I guess you people would say he wasn't doing it, but he knows the camera's on. He was going
Oh yeah, LeBron knows.
bananas. I can't believe this didn't go viral. That actually speaks to how he has everybody trained. Like, this should have been viral. This should be maybe the clip of the year.
Even the video, the tweet was like, Kendrick, LeBron, no doubt the biggest Kendrick Lamar fan, rather than being like, what the fuck are you doing, LeBron?
Right.
This
You look
also
like a weirdo.
speaks to, and I don't want to bring up bad things here, but this is also when your brain was kidnapped. So that might also be why it didn't go viral. If Davey
usually make
Patriots
those
was on
things
his
go.
game,
Yeah.
that doesn't. LeBron.
It was the dark period.
LeBron probably noticed. He's like, he had 6 months of just being able to do whatever the fuck he wanted because Davey Patriots was in love.
He's probably checking his like Google Trends. His hits are way down. The
You
name
let him off the
LeBron
hook for 6
It's not
months,
a trending
dude.
topic anymore.
if he's watching this,
You're back.
every press conference,
Yes.
brother.
Yes.
Like,
You're back.
I'm fucking all in. I got nothing else to do. I'm
You're
gonna be
back.
watching your every fucking move. Every move.
You're not only back.
That was
You're
like
back.
low key a compliment for him that he's loving.
Yeah. No, I know it was.
No, totally.
LeBron also, like, I guess we should talk a little, like, actual playoffs. He just, he dominated.
I
the
couldn't even
Pacers.
watch him. Because I knew what was going to happen.
He's never going to slow down. That's what's crazy to
Dude,
me. He's fucking 32 doing shit.
I'm back
that
on
he
my
was
he's
still
used
doing.
steroids initiations middle school. He's the smartest guy who ever lived. He used it so early that people would be like, he couldn't change. He was fucking huge in high school. Huge.
He's also doing this thing. I mean, it's not new, but I feel like it happens every game now where he just puts a fast break layup like 10 rows up.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous.
He's been doing that for...
But it's just ridiculous to watch him do it. He's 32.
Games that he put up this series wouldn't even like crack his highlight reel if you made it like 2 hours long, and they're still like awesome games with big time shots.
I
And it's like,
literally am watching the Celtics Bulls series, and I just waffle back and forth. I'm like, do I even want to win? Because if we play
just
them in
get
the Eastern
steamrolled.
Conference Finals, right? It's like, do I want that?
Yes, you want that.
Do I, though?
I don't
Yeah,
think you
because
do.
you go in with the expectations that like
Yeah,
we're
you
not
gotta.
going to win.
No,
And,
I don't
like,
think Dave
let's
can
say
handle that.
Kyrie
He'll
and
kill-
Kevin
I'll
Love
fucking
get
take
hurt
it if
again.
you don't want it.
I don't know. If people always say I'm a homer and like crazy, yes, like Patriots, I want everything. I think we can beat everybody. I don't think the Celtics have a chance to beat LeBron.
Okay, well,
and then
you're-
I'm gonna get so mad. It's like, why do I even want to put myself through that? Like, I'm just gonna be so fucking mad.
Yeah, but see,
But
I
it-
do that every year of my life.
But if you
for the whole
watch-
season,
Yeah, you're a
with all
bum.
my teams.
But if you watch the Cavs versus Pacers, they swept them, but it was like the least impressive sweep.
Agreed.
Because every single game, the Pacers looked like they had a chance. The Cavs are vulnerable. I don't think they're going to lose the East, but they absolutely would. I think in the Eastern Conference Finals, whoever they play will go 6 or 7.
he did this thing on that stupid Uninterrupted today. I don't know if you saw that when he's like, I'd like to shout out to the Pacers for like pushing us and being a great opponent.
Yeah.
Shout out Paul George. Shout out Steve Kerr and his back.
Great worthy opponent, man, in our first round series, the Indiana Pacers, man. Big shout out to Paul George. You know, my thoughts and prayers for my family, to Steve Kerr and his family, man. I wish you a healthy recovery.
Shut up, you motherfucker. I don't know if I want to play him. If I do, it's fucking World War III.
Except you just always lose the World Wars. You get stopped. You get eradicated every World War.
No, it's
Yeah,
just
but Dave,
tough
you
because-
can't think like that because I mean I know exactly what you're saying. If the Bulls played the Cavs, there'd be maybe a 0.5% chance they would beat the Cavs, but that 0.5% would be like the sweetest thing in the whole.
There's
game.
a 0% chance either of your teams beat the
No,
Cavs.
there's a half.
Zero.
Kyrie could break his
I
It's
leg.
a
want to play
goose
him.
egg.
I do want to play him, but I know it's going to be like not fun. We talked about this. So I this weekend my hair was getting back to normal. I have stitches in my head. Didn't go out. I was just eating food, watching TV, gambling on horses, doing really old school shit.
Fat Dave's coming back.
Fat
by the way.
Dave. Lots of food.
Good. Miss him.
So Shaq, I was watching this clip, very funny. It's like understated funny because somebody died, but I don't know. I was trying to rack my brain. I'm like, have you ever seen somebody catch news on live TV that somebody they knew had died? Knew personally.
Shout out to the Maris family, Greg Maris, who runs the EBC, was the Entertainer Basketball League in New York City, where all the best players play.
I talked to Greg the other day.
He passed away today, man. So,
Oh, he did?
Yeah, so we just want to send out condolences to the family. And
So they originally were talking about NBA ref curse, maybe. I may be saying the wrong guy died. It was an NBA ref who died. They did a shout out for him. They go lower voices, Ernie Johnson, and then Kenny the Jet Smith brought up his own guy out of the blue, and Shaq's like, oh, I talked to him. Like, I talked to him yesterday or something. He's like, yeah, he's dead. And Shaq just like, oh, damn. He dropped his pen. It's vintage Shaq. It was one of those moments. I watched it. I laughed a little bit, and then as I was watching, I'm like, I think that was really funny.
It's the pen drop.
Yeah, it's
You
the
just
whole
said,
thing.
but the pen drop is like, oh, I'm a dick.
Just broke the news to him live on air.
Breaking news, even if it's bad news, it always feels
Always
good.
great.
Always
Always
feels
great.
good.
And to say, oh, damn, when somebody like you found out somebody's dead, it's like, oh, damn.
By the way, Dave, I know that you're back because you're taking videos of your TV again, which is like classic. Oh, Page's back on his game, and you haven't done it like very much at all in your new apartment. I know how it's set up. The windows next to it, every time you take a video, we get like half of your apartment on the glare.
Yeah, the glare.
It's
glare is a problem.
ridiculous.
Glare's bad.
Glare
You
is a
can't
problem.
even see it. But I respect it because
Glare's
the
a problem.
internet has progressed where everyone has like you know.
can
so
find the
we have
GIFs in the
we have like
videos.
3 or 4 people at our company now that like will cut clips up for you like on the drop of a hat. But there's nothing like doing the old school,
Glare's
standing in front of your TV and just taking the video. I love doing it myself.
Glare's a problem. I do have like electric curtains, no big deal, and I just don't put them down.
Yeah,
You know
that's
when
even
Wilbon
lazier.
is like talking like I like the ink on my fingers?
yeah.
That's gonna be Page views. Like
No,
I'm
it
always
is.
gonna record
There's
off my
something
TV.
about it. I did it
How
a few
else are you
times
gonna do it?
this
How else are you
weekend,
gonna
too.
record off
Yeah.
if there's no way to get it? I'm the only one on the planet who was about to
That's-
do
No,
it.
that's grinding it. That's old school grinding.
That's
You're
like the
standing
door-
up and having to rewind a
Yeah.
bunch of times and being like, God,
Getting it
you're
right.
perfect.
Getting it right. Yeah.
I got the door. This is not on the rundown. The Doris Burke clip also when
Yeah.
the dude's like, "Oh, there's the goat, Peyton Manning," and she's like, "The goat."
The GOAT, Peyton Manning, in the building.
Hold up. The GOAT? The GOAT now? Tom Brady? Sorry, what?
What are you crazy?
I was doing it. Did you see
put that in
on
right now, by the way.
Thursday night, Patrick Beverly hit a 3 and he did a pinky point
Oh,
at
yeah.
Russ Westbrook down the court,
I
which is
didn't
like the most. That's the meanest thing you can do. It just went like that. But that was another one where it was like 12:30 and I was
mean-
rewinding it.
The meanest thing you can do is The Rock is basically. It was like the old Larry Bird clip when Larry Bird was so good. The Hawks were slapping each other 5 on the bench. The Hawks were going, not the Hawks. The Rockets going
Yes.
absolutely crazy over
Our
missed
boy
free
Sam
throws.
Decker was hamming it up there.
So Aaron Hernandez, they found his lover, and I guess it's still in dispute, so we'll say alleged, but they were 1,000% having sex. That's 1,000% why he killed himself. These two look like some hot gang gay lovers, period.
Yeah, this is like gay porn.
Gay porn.
I mean, he's fucking himself basically. The tats on the neck. And
The
like
dirty talk must have been like
damn.
bananas. Can't say that.
I don't think you even have to say alleged because Aaron Hernandez wrote him a suicide note. I don't think you write a suicide note to a dude in prison unless
You're banging.
you were
So-
doing it.
A little bit soft by these. Aren't they like legitimate gang members? Like, who cares? If you're a gang member, I feel like, hey, you're gay, boom, pow, shoot him. You don't kill yourself, right? A little bit soft.
I don't know how. I think it all just kind of becomes one thing in jail. Like you're just.
But my thing was like, you wasn't in prison that long.
I was in there for like 4 years.
Hasn't been 4 years.
Yeah,
Has it been
when we
4
did the
years?
Zoltan Mesko was the day he got
Wow,
arrested.
that's crazy.
Time flies.
Yeah.
Sneaky, underrated,
Time
funniest.
flies when you're fucking some random dude in jail.
Not just random dudes, like gang guys that look exactly alike. Roy understated maybe the funniest thing of the weekend. Roy Hibbert became a dad. He posted this picture, and he's holding. Is it a boy or girl? I don't even know. The
I think
kid's
it's supposed to be a boy. Supposedly a boy.
supposedly a boy. And
We have to let that.
Just white-
We have to let the kid decide its gender at a later point.
just white as like
I mean,
a
as white
cracker-
as can be.
Yeah, a cracker baby. Roy Hibbert, very black. So everyone's chirping him like not his kid. The gifts underneath funny. By the way, it can't be his kid. I don't know anything about physiologically.
There's like it's like a pigment
It does
thing.
kind of change.
Yeah.
But that's a fucking white kid.
It's white.
Have
That
you guys
is a
ever seen the
white
movie Powder?
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's powder.
That was Powder.
That
Roy
baby,
Hibbert's not
that
having
could
a
be
Powder
could
kid.
be like an albino, but that is a white baby.
Roy Hibbert is just
You know who he is? He's the Bosch. He's Chris Bosch.
Yeah.
It's like no matter what Roy Hibbert does.
junkyard.
Yeah, he's just like a funny, people make fun of him, laugh
Right.
at him. And that's not his kid.
No, that is a white man's child.
You
He's
can't-
got a
is
white
his
wife,
wife
by the way. Yeah,
white?
his white. Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
No. So that,
No,
that
obviously
does matter.
it does.
So that's an important part. She's white, so like if she had sex with a white dude,
Yes.
that's a white baby. That's a white baby.
Well, clearly she's white, but I'm saying that's not his baby. If you have somebody as dark skinned and a white, then you're not. You can't have a pure powder baby.
It's
Can
like
you?
a Lebensborn. The
A what?
Nazis, you know, they made the hospital where they like had the best of the best have sex and they
You
just
guys know too
spit
much
out
about Hitler
kids.
and the Nazis and shit. It's
Yeah.
wild.
Sorry, you came after our people, Kevin. Like, you just live in this
Bro,
fantasy
I
land where
meant
nothing
PMT,
happened.
you fucking weirdo,
No,
not you.
I watched
didn't
Man
even
in
know
the
what
High
it was.
Castle
I retract that statement.
on Amazon.
How do you like
Man in the High
that? I
Castle.
fucking retract it. Brian, what's Westbrook's first name? Russell.
Oh, you should have let him go.
Mike
Fuck.
Westbrook.
I retract that help.
Mike
And he started with
Westbrook.
Brian Westbrook, the Phillies, the Eagles' favorite.
Mike
onto Mike
Westbrook.
Westbrook.
Russell
Hey,
Westbrook.
Bobby Westbrook. What do we got on him?
Russell Westbrook, this post-game press conference. Steven Adams?
Yes.
It was Steven Adams. And a reporter asked Steven Adams, hey, you guys seem to basically suck whenever Russell Westbrook goes to the bench. What are you going to do about that? What do you think about that? He gets cut off by Westbrook and says he won't answer it.
Why is Houston so successful, and do you sense that they sort of get an energy boost just from him going out of the game?
Hold on, Steven. I don't want nobody to try to split us up. We all one team. Regardless if I go to the bench, if Steven's on the floor, if I'm off the floor, we in this together. Don't split us up. Don't try to split us up. Don't try to make us go against each other. Try to make it against Russell and the rest of the guys. Russell against Houston. I don't want to hear that. We in this together. We playing as a team, and that's all that matters. That's it.
What do you got on this, Dan, Westbrook's behavior in this presser?
I mean, I'm not surprised by it. Westbrook's kind of a surly guy, and I feel like they just bully the Oklahoma City media all the time. Durant used to do the same thing. The funny thing about this whole entire press conference, though, is the guy's point was like, your teammates suck, and they never like pick up the slack for you. And then Steven Adams just sits there not picking up any slack for him.
it was
Like
very
all
symbolic.
Steven Adams had to say is like, next question. Because like he obviously
No, all Steven Adams had to do was answer the question
Yeah.
with a canned response, similar to
Yeah.
what Westbrook's was. Like,
Yeah.
listen, man, we win as a team, we lose as a team. There's no dissension about us. You're a grown man. You can answer your own question. And I think Mike Westbrook clowned him even more so by taking that question from him.
He made it look 1,000 times worse. Like you say, he could just be like, we got to play better when he's not in the game. That's a really easy thing to do. Westbrook and LeBron did this. Who did LeBron do this with?
Kevin Love.
Kevin Love. It makes everybody look like chumps. It reinforces the question. I hate when guys do this because Westbrook is a surly guy, but he's also like a look at me guy. Like he wears the clothes, he's commercials, he wants to be up front. Things are going great, MVP, la-di-da-da. The second things go bad, he's this guy. fucking hate that. Let the guy answer the question. Don't put them up next to each other, by the way, if he's going to do that. So fuck Michael Westbrook. It's what makes me hate a lot of guys.
That was genuine.
Russell.
That was genuine.
Westbrook, Bryant Westbrook, Michael Westbrook, Westbrook. This slid. This slid.
Those Barstool Sports, man.
Yeah.
This slid late. Shout out to one of the absolute OGs of the internet. What are you laughing at?
Mike Westbrook is just.
Mike Westbrook.
That is, I mean, he is arguably the most talked about athlete right now, like in the world. To drop Mike Westbrook is
Bro,
wild.
sometimes I get my names mixed up. That's my brain has worked like that. I have like stitches digging into my brain right now.
Broken brain.
Non-stop for a
Broken
week
brain.
almost. Allison Stokke is dating Rickie Fowler. That's what it looks like. Allison Stokke, I did the research, 2007.
Wow.
She may have been the original viral. I can't remember any
Viral
girl
chick,
like going viral before her. There may have been, but I don't remember that. So for her to still be in the game, still looks great. By
Do you remember Amber Stratton? She was hot on like Facebook. She wasn't famous at all. She didn't do anything like video worthy.
Amber Stratton.
But she was like a hot Facebook personality. She was probably right around the same time.
Amber
She disappeared off the face of the earth because there was like so many pictures of her and shit. She's like changed her name and everything. I wrote a blog like trying to dig her up recently, and she emailed me like, please don't do this. I'm trying to keep my life back in order.
That always,
but anyway,
yeah. It's like that. Remember
that's
that
when
chick,
you put your foot on the gas.
Angie Verona or whatever?
Yeah,
who was
same,
like,
similar.
It was like the whole internet was like basically jerking off to a 16-year-old.
Yeah, she was
Like,
underage.
that's
That
kinda
was
weird.
That was weird.
Yeah, and then you see her now and you're like, oh yeah, she's actually a real person.
Allison Stokes is one of those people that like if you know who she is, you kind of pat yourself on the back a little bit.
I'm
Like,
not even
you're
sure.
You're an internet guy.
I don't even know if she's what created Smoke Show, because her nickname, like
Stoke
in
Show.
everything I have, is the Stoke Show.
Stoke Show?
Yeah, so I don't know.
No,
if
no.
that-
So you probably Smoke Show was already around. You probably played that off. Played.
Either way, what a couple. What a sneaky under the.
You know what's impressive is that she's still like very hot.
Yeah.
I mean
She's still very hot.
You could fall off in 10 years.
Still
easily.
very athletic. She's in the Olympics. She also, she was one of the ones. Her family had a big thing like, "Don't look at me because I'm hot. I'm not trying to be like Instagram."
Wasn't she like a pole vaulter?
She is a pole vaulter. She was in the Olympics.
Oh, like now?
Yeah.
Olympics. Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you meant then.
No, we had her. She could have been underage
wow.
when we posted her.
Yeah,
Back
probably.
then, though, age
Should
didn't
have.
matter.
There was no
Those
rules.
were
That was the
It
difference.
didn't matter in
rule book.
07.
Those were when things happened. It was like the internet god rule book was being written. It's like, oh, she's 15. Let's put that in the rule book. Like it was going in real time, the rules. So it's like, okay, can't do that.
That was the ultimate ask questions later. Like just,
Yeah.
No,
just shoot.
it was basically like when Belichick finds a loophole and they're like, all right, we'll close this loophole up
Yes,
after.
exactly.
exactly how the internet was.
It's like it's not against the rules.
Right.
Now it is, but it
Now,
wasn't.
yeah.
Right.
Right.
Now all the rules have almost been written, but back then there was probably only like 4 rules even on the books, and then she came out. It's like, oh, add that one. So shout out Allison Stoke Show.
You think Rickie Fowler knows like her history?
Has to.
That would be funny.
Because if you Google her, she's everywhere. And
Yeah.
everybody,
You
like,
Google
who's
whoever.
this chick? Google, is she good at pole vaulting in the Olympics? She's an Olympian. Oh, what is this? She's been on the internet since 2007. Like the Washington Post did an article on her.
She was what's the new one? Michelle Janenki, whatever her
Yeah,
name
she was second.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was like
I mean,
the
that
second
was,
comeback.
but that was a distant second.
Yeah. I mean, that was back, I remember Amanda Cicchini. Like, that was a huge one of mine. West Virginia
was
soccer player. She invented, like, the ass first picture. Like, every picture she had, like, she would just turn her ass around and come back. So I named, like, the pose. Those are the days, fast and loose and wild.
The good old days.
Good old days.
When you were fat, and then you're coming back. So maybe there's a.
I am going to.
Turn
I
of the
keep
tides.
eating like I ate this weekend. Triple orders of Chinese food, movies at 2 a.m. Fat Dave will be back in a jiff.
Wow.
Who was that? Is that Pete?
Pete's just laughing at you.
The
Cackle.
Yeah. Post show, couple things. We had Frank the Tank
Oh,
that you were with. Francis
was.
also started a fight with Frank the Tank.
All right, so Frank the Tank, sitting down and watching a ball game of him was like genuinely a once in a lifetime
amazing.
experience.
He's
It was.
incredible.
He has these like canned one-liners, but he's actually like insanely knowledgeable. He was nailing trivia questions. He's a funny fucking guy. We just sat there in the rain. He's the only person on the planet more pessimistic than me.
Watching the Mets is like watching The Wizard of Oz. The team has no heart, Terry has no brains, and management has no courage.
It was like the second
I
inning.
actually was gonna
the second
say-
inning, and he called for a no-hitter, and then he was like, "This team's losing 100 games. They're losing 100 games." I was like, Frank.
I was
I was like, relax, bud.
I was going to note that because we've talked about this whole how you're so pessimistic, and like your view of your teams is so off from reality sometimes that it.
First of all, is it?
It is, because I'll follow your Twitter. Remember the Kristaps shit? I was like, oh yeah, like the Knicks and Kristaps.
Was I ever
amazing.
tweeting that the Knicks were awesome?
No,
I was tweeting
but
that Kristaps
okay.
was.
And then before Friday, you guys obviously got swept. But the way you and Frank were talking, I thought the Mets had won one game this year.
Bro,
you guys were 8-9. I was like, what the fuck's going on?
They've lost one. They've lost 8 of 9.
Okay, I understand.
They've lost
I
all the
understand
games for
now
half the
it's going
season
back.
in a row.
But you guys do like it's. I can't. The both of you combined now.
Here is the thing.
Like you two like mirror each other on Twitter.
So Brendan said it best. He was like, it was like a black hole, and like you sucked the team down with you.
Yes.
It was like I don't think we can be together anymore for the good of the Mets.
Well, following
Listen,
both of you on
we
Twitter
may
is
be
wild.
over dramatic. At the end of the day, me and Frank are unfortunately always right.
And Frank, the Mets are his World Series pick.
This year?
Yeah.
That's gonna be like 2009. He predicted them to win like 110 games. They won like 69.
My problem is I'm 0-9 bet on the Mets. And I'm finding out the news a lot of times on what's going on in the Mets game from you and him, and it's like the worst fucking thing in the world.
Yes.
And I never know how bad you're exaggerating or not. Like, I have to go check everything.
Right.
Because you do jump, like, it's like, oh, here we go again, and
It's like
it's like
1-0.
ball one.
Yeah, right.
That's not true.
They're like, oh, these Mets, they can't
Listen.
fucking throw a strike.
Listen.
And it's like, you walked one guy.
You guys, you'll never understand it.
I will understand
You will
because
not.
they're playing like absolute dog poo whenever
Nobody
You
will
two
ever
together,
understand
it's
being
the
being the
combo.
loser fan in New York
It's
is
the
unlike
combo of
anything
you
in
guys.
sports, and unless you are a part of it, you will never understand.
Oh, I don't debate that you're a loser. That's like beyond reproach.
It's just
But
double
you can't-
losers now screwing up my brain.
and it's
can't-
early.
you
It's
never
early
relate.
to be that. But Frank goes like yesterday. It's
See,
like
Frank is
I
just
think
me
the
10
first
years from
second
now.
inning. He's like, oh, there goes the chance. There goes. We're not gonna get a hit.
Another
the rest
one
of the
of
game.
these games.
It's the second inning.
Yeah, but did you watch the game? It basically happened.
So you guys got to 4-3.
Oh, last night, not
Yeah.
the game we were at. Yes, yeah. Yeah, that was. I mean, he was predicting a no-hitter at the game before that. He was like, we're definitely going to get no-hit Sunday night, so we can't get no-hit today.
I had that. I bet the Mets against Gio, and you were getting no hit for like 6 innings, I think.
Yeah. So we're not really that wrong. Fuck you guys.
I feel like every time I watch, not Syndergaard, who's the other guy?
I mean, there's a
DeGrom. He stinks every time I watch. His ERA is great. He's good, but every time I watch him, he's
always
getting
dicey.
racked. I
It's
don't know
always
what the
dicey.
hell's going on.
Yep.
I guess stop betting on the Mets.
But Frank was awesome, and everybody loved him except Francis.
Wild tweet
Francis
by
came from the clouds saying he's like a 400-pound cartoon. I don't even know what the rest
Yeah,
of it
my
was.
problem with Francis is this. So Francis did that tweet, and then I guess was like texting people, like, was that too far? So either be the villain or don't be the villain, but don't be the villain and then try to walk the poodle back. Is that an expression?
Well, the problem
be.
with Francis is there's a couple of things. He
Walk the
doesn't
dog
understand. He doesn't understand Barstool. I don't think he read Barstool before he came to the Barstool Idol thing.
I think he's crazy.
I don't think he understands how the internet works.
Right.
Because for him, he's coming from like a Harvard, like, you know, obviously like, you know, dresses well, good looking dude. Like there's an order in the world. In the Barstool world, Frank the Tank is king.
Dude,
there's
he
no
is
one
the
better
most
than Frank the Tank.
untouchable person
Dude.
here, maybe on the internet.
But like that's something Francis' brain has never been able to compute because like if he had followed Barstool, he'd know like Danny Boy Kane, Detroit Don and Superfan, Frank the Tank, Stingray Steve. These guys are legends because they are so loyal to their teams and that's all they care about. So that's where his like he actually was like, how the hell is this making sense?
I wouldn't dream of going at Frank the Tank.
Right, and
Ever.
then the problem, the problem I had was the heel turn thing. But like you could tell, he actually meant what he said.
Well, and I also think the heel turn was like, well, everybody's mad at me, so
Right,
I
he
gotta
meant
run
that.
with this.
He looks down on Frank the Tank.
By the way, potential new nickname.
Oh, Frankie Midnight.
Frankie
That's
Midnight.
great.
It's maybe the hottest nickname
fucking
in the
great.
history. It's
Like
so
that should-
bad.
like that should
He
be a
has two
rapper's name.
perfect-
Like,
yeah,
that's an
Frankie
awesome name.
But to say Frankie Midnight and then have him come strolling through, it's like, oh my God, Frankie
Imagine
Midnight.
that. We almost need to make a video of that. Just tell people, yo, this guy Frankie Midnight showing up, and film the reactions when the elevator door
Maybe
walks.
Roan's gonna be back in a week. Have him and Frank
On the track.
Yeah, like a Frankie Midnight.
Roan
like,
featuring Frankie Midnight. Forget about it.
So is Francis doing the heel turn or not?
He seems like he's really caught in between being a heel
Yeah.
and not being a heel.
Got it.
He does not know whether he wants to embrace the heel.
Got it.
Seems to be the case.
Got it. He's not here today.
All right. Anything else?
What?
I was just gonna. I said on the radio, it's like when we used to say like A-Rod should just embrace being the heel, but he's too socially awkward. It's that. I don't think he can be the heel.
I have no.
By the way, this dude had to ask me, "Do you think I'm a heel?"
I have.
It's like, is that a real fucking question?
I have zero read on Francis. Zero. Like zero. You could tell me he donated $5 million to charity, or he killed a whole orphanage, and I'd be like, makes sense on both of them. Like I literally have no read on this guy. For real. He's impossible.
I would lean towards killed an orphanage.
He's very talented, and his videos are funny, but they're also like obviously they're somewhat scripted. So then when he sets a tweet out like that, I'm like,
he's great to
what's
have
going
here.
on
He's
here?
motivated as fuck.
No, let me
He's
tell you.
creating great content. I'm glad
I've
he's here.
talked to him
but
about his Twitter before.
Can't get a read on.
He uses his Twitter to like float stand-up jokes.
God.
So I think like this was almost like a boomch sort of thing, and it was like.
It is really just a fundamental, though. Like whatever. It's not going to be a big deal because it's really not a big deal. But it comes down to Francis just doesn't understand how Barstool works, and that Frankie Midnight is literally
He's the Don. He's at
no,
the top of the pyramid right now.
The fact that Frankie Midnight went from
Frankie Midnight,
but the fact that Frankie
such a
Midnight
name.
went from an unknown to Dave's favorite is the least shocking news of all time. Like Frankie Midnight.
You know what I'll say? Midnight
Dave
deserves
would
this
fire
one,
anyone for Frankie Midnight right now, and that's not shocking.
But you know what? He's doing good work. Did you watch his vlog?
Oh, his vlog
was
fire.
like very funny, but very
Dude,
informative.
It's so pure.
He's
It's
fucking
just pure.
good.
He's just a pure fan.
Frankie Midnight shit.
Sure,
like,
we need
immediately.
If we can just get a shirt that says Frankie Midnight, even if you don't know who he is, I think you'd buy that shirt just because of the name.
You know what it is? It's just like
in like the Maction. Remember the Maction letters?
Yeah.
Frankie Midnight with those colors.
Oh yeah, that would actually be great.
I'm just trying to picture somebody who doesn't know who at all. You're like, I have a guy like me, Frankie Midnight. In like, what are you picturing walking through that door? And then Frankie Midnight shows up. You're like, wow.
He's
make the shirts. Make the shirt, and we need to print it in 6XL for him.
What's the?
Tell me that's his size.
6XL.
6X.
What's
I feel bad about that one.
The land the time forgot. That's where Frankie Midnight came from. Yeah. Because it's like all the cynicism and crap that's on the internet in 2017. That doesn't touch Frankie Midnight.
To be a guy
he's just a fan
who just blogged for no other reason than love of the game for 16 years.
Yeah, I love it.
That guy is
he's
a special person.
His tweets have been off the charts.
Dude, put it up on the screen.
The
Leafs in the caps was Shakespearean. Note, all in caps. It got 1,000 retweets. That probably blew Frank's doors off.
God, it was unbelievable.
Wind right up his fly.
It's literally like.
And just think about this for a second. The guy has been slaving away on his blog for 15, 16 years. And then all of a sudden he gets on a random news station and boom, he's now being, watched and read on one of the biggest blogs in the world. That's how Chernin should make that movie.
He texted me
Frankie
like,
Midnight.
He was like
a superhero.
Do you think anybody would be upset if I started a vlog? I was like,
yeah.
See, that's why he's not self-aware. It's not an act. It's not shtick. He was like, do you think I'd be allowed to? I was like, best. Frank, you could literally do anything you want right now.
Pure. It reminds me of like The Natural when they're like, it's like, how can a guy this good come from nowhere? It's like, that's Frankie Midnight. How can a guy this good have two perfect nicknames? This guy has two better nicknames than like the world, the Tank and Frankie Midnight.
Wait, but also his name itself is unbelievable.
Frank Fleming. It could have just been Frank Fleming.
Frank Fleming.
He's just old Robbie Fox.
Yeah. Dude, Frank Fleming. Frank Fleming from New Jersey is like so good. God
Frankie
damn it.
Midnight.
Oh, and
Frankie Midnight's really good.
I got a little update on why he's a Dolphins fan. Likes
Dolphins.
I saw. Simple.
Likes Dolphins.
Oh, he likes Flipper.
I was always a fan of Flipper. I was a fan of the animal, and then Marino came along.
It's so pure. If you can't appreciate what Frankie Midnight brings to Barstool,
to the world,
to round us out,
to the world,
like
Dan.
we missed this gap. This is Dave. This is our dream because how many times did you hit up like Danny Boy Kane? You want to do something? This is what we've always wanted. We wanted this pure fan that lives and dies with just his team, nothing else. Everything else is noise. You asked him about Beyonce, he'd be like, shut up, I want to talk about the fifth starter for the Mets.
I bet you Frank doesn't know who Beyonce is.
No, but that's what I want. It's fucking
even his
perfect.
His vlog, he was so calm.
It's vlog, by the way.
Vlog.
Why are you saying vlog?
Like vlog.
It's vlog. He's a vlogger and a blogger.
He's
vlog. Two-threat player.
He's so calm. He's like, I'm going to start vlogging every day and tried to do this. And how about those Mets? Like he went right into it.
But here we go, the Frank the Tank blog for April 23rd, 2017. This was an absolute nightmare of a week for the New York Mets. They cannot be playing any worse.
It's like the
He
second
kept doing that at the
start talking about
game.
Mets.
He kept doing it at the game. It would just ramp up all of a sudden. He's as genuine as it gets.
It's
man.
like very calm, and the second Mets, he goes like red,
How long
like
does it take
purple
him
haze.
to get to a game?
How long did it take him to get from down the steps to our seats, Dan?
Wait, this story, he told this story actually.
How long does it take to get to the game, though? For real, like 2 hours?
I
That's
don't know
such
where he lives.
dedication.
It's a fucking hike.
Holy
This
shit.
story,
Jersey to Queens is a hike.
he told the story. So it was Barstool at the ballpark, and they were in the bleachers, and they were in the front row. They got the ticket SeatGeek, right? So SeatGeek gave
Shout
him the
out
front row.
SeatGeek.
Shout out SeatGeek. And Kevin's like, "Do you want to come up to the bleachers with me?" A lot of Steelers, I'm sure, would like to meet. He's like, I'm all set with walking.
Midnight.
Like,
No need.
he did his
He doesn't waste
walking
steps.
for the week.
He does not waste steps.
Frankie Midnight cannot.
He's got
waste
a
steps.
Saturdays pack. He makes that hike every other Saturday.
I mean, the
Unbelievable.
picture of him. When I saw that come across my feed, like I literally spit my coffee out and wasn't like even drinking it. That old line.
Flies
like,
open.
Fly open. He had the cell phone like a pistol on his hip. He had binoculars around the thing.
Camera.
A
lanyard.
He
the
looked
hat.
like Inspector Gadget. He had something
Yeah.
for every possible outcome at
I
this
love it.
baseball
Dude, he had
game.
the camera out at the weirdest times, like absolutely nothing to
You see, he was
photograph.
also mad. I mean, this actually sums him up perfectly. He was mad because the Mets had a Sunday night game, and the kids can't run the bases. And people were like, Frank, what the like? It sounds like a personal problem. He's like, I don't have kids. I don't care. I just want to be a family-friendly atmosphere. Like that's Frank.
He was actually very pumped when they did run the bases.
Love
Now
it.
that you bring that up. He was very
damn it.
excited about that.
You can't get down with that.
Frankie Midnight. All right, that's the rundown.